Good evening, guys, and happy Monday to all of your sunshiny faces. So even for it being a Monday today, I still was productive. I actually got a lot of stuff done. I've got something sort of interesting to share with you guys. Yesterday, actually, I ended up getting a lot of dishes and laundry done and stuff like that. I don't know why yesterday afternoon I just felt really motivated and was like, I'm just gonna go and get all this stuff done. So I did a whole big load of dishes. I ended up going through and did a whole bunch of laundry too. So then I finished off the laundry today, because I did dishes yesterday. I actually didn't really need to do any today. So I just ended up, I'll probably run the dishwasher tomorrow. And you know, take care of all that stuff, but I didn't have to do it today. So I did do laundry today, and then I also ended up editing and uploading today as well, which again too, I'm not really good about doing on the weekends, just because normally like the weekends we wind up, you know, trying to get things done and stuff like that, so I don't really have a whole ton of time to like sit down and do like editing and uploading versus like during the week I do. So I got to that today. And on top of that too, guys, I don't know if you guys can tell behind me, sometimes I've got a mountain of clothes back there, and today I do not have a mountain of clothes back there because I took care of almost all of my clothes and put them away. It actually was funny, there's very little clothes that need to be put away. A lot of it was summer stuff that's like I would wear like randomly. Like if I like started the day off, I'd wear like a t-shirt or something like that, like a nicer t-shirt, and then like a few hours in the day I'd be like, oh, I'm gonna go do something outside, and I'd change into some, you know, sort of just like garbage clothes, you know, just to go and get dirty outside. So then I throw those in the laundry, but normally the shirt that I just wore for like, again, an hour or two or something like that in the morning, I didn't end up washing because I was like, oh, I'll just wear that tomorrow. So all that stuff ended up piling up on this chair, and it was almost all like tank tops and shorts and t-shirts and stuff like that, that I'm like, okay, well, I'm not going to wear this again now, so I might as well just go and have it washed, you know, by this point, because it's been sitting there now and has not been put away. And you know, again, I don't know what of the stuff too that I did wear and what stuff I didn't, what stuff I changed out of. So I was like, anything that looks summer related, I'm throwing it in the laundry. Most of the other stuff that was there was all stuff that I was just too lazy to put away. So I did wind up putting all that stuff away, and I'm a little bit motivated to try and get some things done and taken care of as well. Because, guys, a little sort of surprise here is that we're actually, every person in the house is changing rooms, including me, even though I feel kind of a little disappointed because I redid my room most recently. Maybe not most recently. My mom's office we did over when we were in lockdown. We redid her whole office. I ended up redoing my room in, I want to say it was 2017, the summer of 2017 or the summer of 2018. And so my room wasn't like, I repainted it. I ended up moving the shelves around to the spot that I wanted them. You know, I hung up like my bulletin boards behind me. You know, I really completely redid my room. So again, I sort of am a little bit frustrated about that because it looks as though, like I said, we are possibly going to wind up changing. Everybody's room is going to wind up changing, including my mom's office, which again too, we just, you know, 2 years ago we ended up redoing all of that, and we put in all custom cabinetry, and I say custom cabinetry. It was all cabinets that were out in our garage that were left over from the previous owners or previous owners, that was in the, we believe in the kitchen, or was just salvaged or something like that, but it was all in the garage. It looks like all the cabinet pieces would have fit in our kitchen, so I'm assuming that it was probably from the kitchen. Along with a really, really old, outdated, which we got rid of a while ago though, but it was a really, really old, outdated orange countertop. So it was definitely had to have been 70s, 80s, possibly like 60s, maybe even really, really, like I said, outdated stuff. But all of our cabinetry is probably like 90s, everything that's in the kitchen. But we also repainted and redid the whole kitchen, sort of. I mean, not a full gutted kitchen. We've pretty much updated it for the most part. You know, again, we were also in lockdown too. But all that cabinetry that was out in our garage previously is now in my mom's office, because we ended up, like I said, we added sort of custom stuff in there, because we ended up doing all the cabinets that were in the garage. We fit them all perfectly in her office, and then we ended up putting in, it's actually a shelving unit, like piece that we put in and made sort of custom for my mom's like desktop. So we did create sort of a custom desk, built-in desk in her office, which is not going to stink, because we're most likely going to wind up not ripping it out, but replacing it and moving it upstairs, because my parents are going to move their bedroom and my mom's office upstairs, is the potential of what's going to happen. And then I will most likely be moving out of this bedroom and into my parents' bedroom, which is the bigger master bedroom, but the upstairs is like a bonus room. But we've always, for the most part, even like, it's always changed, and I'll have all of the rooms have sort of changed over the time that we've lived here, because we've lived here for 20 years. So again, a lot of stuff, it's changed. But like when we first moved in, I think for a short period of time, me and Matthew both shared this bedroom like we were real little. Like he might have been like 2 and I was like 6 or something like that. But I think for a, like I said, small period of time, we shared this bedroom. Then we moved upstairs for a period of time. Then I had my own room in what was my mom's office, and then when my grandma moved in, she took the master bedroom. My parents moved upstairs. Well, this was while Jack was born, and like was up until like maybe he was a year, 2, 3 years old. Then he moved in with Matthew, who they were in here and for the longest time. Then me and Matthew both moved upstairs. Me, Matthew, and Jack all moved upstairs for a period of time, and we had like a room divider upstairs, so we had like sort of 2 separate rooms, even though it was a bonus room. And then I think by that time we all moved back downstairs when my grandma moved out, and for a little while I think Matthew and Jack were in my mom's office, and then I think my parents were still maybe upstairs, or I think by the time my grandma moved out, my parents moved into my grandma's old bedroom. My parents' bedroom was also in here for a period of time. Like, I actually think that everybody has pretty much lived in every single room of the house. Like every single, like I said, bedroom. We've not lived in the kitchen or the living room, but every single like bedroom, or again the upstairs bonus room, has been almost every person's bedroom. The only thing is that I think my parents have never lived in my mom's office, but everybody else has lived in the other rooms of the house at least once for a period of time. So, and it's only because my mom's office is the smallest bedroom. I think I remember measuring it because at the time when I was in high school, it was an interior design class, and we had to measure out our bedroom and then design it in like the you know, like design program, like computer program that we had. So it was like one of our projects, and I remember I had to measure in there, and I think it was like 10 by 11. It's like only like a small, like I think barely 100 square foot room. So it's pretty small bedroom. And it's, like I said, the smallest room. And on top of that too, it also has a back door. So you have very, very little like space in there, because you also have to be able to have access to get outside through there as well. So you can't just be like the layout for like the way I have my room in here wouldn't work, because there's not only the bedroom door, but there's also like an exterior door. So you can't have stuff in front of the exterior door, because you have to be able to get out of it. So it's a little bit like I said, it's a little tough in there trying to make that into a bedroom. But like, I honestly kind of don't know why that is a bedroom. Like, it works better as an office, just because of, like, you know, like I said, that the back door. But like I said, when I did that for my interior design class when I was in high school, my freshman year, that's when I had my bedroom in there right before we moved upstairs. Like I said, I measured it out, and I think that was like 10 by 11 or something like that, or almost maybe 9 by 10 or something. It was really, it's a pretty small bedroom. But it works well for Matthew or Jack, who would wind up being, you know, instead of them sharing a bedroom, they would get their own room. So that's sort of one of the things right now that's sort of going on, is that Matthew and Jack both sort of are at the age where, you know, when Matthew comes back from school, because he'll be done with school this year, like graduated from college, you know, he kind of needs his own space as well. And the upstairs room is big enough for 2 rooms, but it doesn't have a dividing wall. And so that's one of the tough things, is that, like, you know, again, having two people with very separate lives living in one room, you know, they kind of, you know, get in each other's, although again, big room, kind of personal space. So it's almost like everybody sort of needs a room. And since my mom has an office and it would also be her bedroom at the same time, it works for the bonus room upstairs to have my parents' bedroom and my mom's office in there at the same time, and then everybody can have their own room, all three of us kids downstairs in the actual bedrooms. So and the main reason why I need to move rooms instead of just keeping this and then like one of them getting the bigger room is because my room does not have a closet. I currently use the closet that's in my mom's office, which again too, also very limited wall space because you have a giant outdoor, you know, door to the outside. It's not like French doors because it only opens from one side, and from like the interior side, it's not like the window side that it opens from, but it only opens from one side. And then it also has a closet door with this like sliding closet door, plus it also has again just a regular like interior door room. So it has, like I said, very limited like wall space. Like the only real wall space that's in that room is like a small little bit where the closet isn't on like the one closet side, and then probably like about this space like right there is like this wall space that's in there. So it's, like I said, it's not an ideal room space, but it would work well. It works well as an office, and it would work well for, again, Matthew and or Jack to at least have their own private space. But because, like I was saying, my room, I think my assumption is most likely this room probably had a closet, but when they ended up doing the remodel and added the expansion on upstairs, they added the stairs, which is right on the other side of my bedroom. So my thought is that there probably was at some point a closet somewhere against this wall, and then, you know, and it sort of took the space of where the stairs is now. But now that the stairs are there, this room can't have a closet. There's no room to really entirely put a closet in anywhere, unless again too, like maybe you took out like space out of the laundry room, or you took space out of the master bedroom, or whatever it is, you could potentially add a small closet. But because I currently, like I said, have my stuff in my mom's office, if that turned into somebody's bedroom, they would most likely need to use that as their closet space. So since I have probably the most clothes out of my two brothers, I most likely need to have a room that has closet space in it, and you know, also to one of the bigger rooms. And so I think either Matthew or Jack, like both rooms have downsides to them. If Matthew winds up getting this room, or Jack winds up getting this room, or again the other room, which would be my mom's office, one person would have a closet and the other wouldn't, but one person has a smaller room and the other person doesn't. So while, like I said, this room is bigger, it doesn't have a closet, and the other room is smaller but does have a closet. You're losing out on having a closet in this room, but because it's bigger, you can have room for like a really big armoire or something like that. And so again too, because I have my desk and my computer and all that kind of stuff in here as well, I don't have room for that in here. For me, again too, it's more likely that I need to move into that room than stay in here. And also too, my parents' bedroom has not been painted, I think, since we first moved into the house. I think they painted it originally. Maybe it was white or something like that, but it is this really, really ugly green color that I can't stand. It makes the room look so dark, and I love light colors. You guys can tell this is my favorite blue color. That's what I painted my walls in here. I love light, bright colors. My parents' bedroom currently is very, very dark green. So I think everybody is most likely, when we all move rooms, is going to wind up painting. But the big problem that we're having right now is that when we had all of the issue too upstairs with the gutters, it pulled the whole like siding and like the beam. So when that whole fiasco was also sort of going on, we realized that there's also was sort of problems with the interior, that the drywall was actually like, it started actually leaking in on the drywall as well. So not just in one place too. We also realized that when we had redone our roof So like there's a flat roof on the part that's dormered out that was the expansion upstairs. Then we have regular like pitched roofs. We had the pitched roofs redone before we knew anything was a problem, and so all of that was replaced, but we realized that we were having some water like damage from prior to the roof being replaced. And so then once the roof was replaced, we realized that we had this problem afterwards. And then also too, because of the flat roof, we realized that there was also water damage that had happened as well from up there. So we realized that this has all come through and has been in the drywall. And so long story short, all the drywall upstairs needs to be replaced. We also plan on replacing the carpet, and also too, the carpet has not been replaced since we've lived in the house either. And it probably needs to be, because honestly it's pretty gross. It just needs to be replaced. So before we can move my parents upstairs and my mom's office and everything like that, we need to get all that stuff done as well. So we're going to be in a sort of weird in-between process of moving things around and temporarily having things live in rooms where it's not normally supposed to be. Boxes and, you know, people's furniture and stuff like that. It's just going to be around a lot so that we can try and get that stuff done and taken care of, so that we're not just like, okay, let's just slap a band-aid on this and, you know, sort of just move my parents upstairs so that they can be upstairs and, you know, not actually fix the legitimate things that need to be done, because it would be better to try and do that before we move everything, you know, and all that kind of stuff. So again, there's a long process that needs to be done and taken care of, and both my parents, I guess, trust me enough with all of the organizing skills and sort of, you know, just like I can see the whole process of what needs to happen. Like, you know, again, I feel like I handled when I repainted my bedroom, I moved everything up into Matthew and Jack's bedroom for it was, I think, honestly, maybe a week, a little bit less than that. And I redid, again, my entire room. I redid the lighting in here. I redid all my outlets. A lot of stuff got redone in my room when I ended up repainting it, because I was just so sick of it, because it had teddy bear wallpaper on here and stuff like that. I think from really old vlogs, all that stuff was in here, and it just needed to be all redone. So again, when I ended up doing it, it took me a long process to, again, take care of all that stuff. The worst part too is that the wallpaper that was in here had been wallpapered over and wallpapered over again. So I actually I tried all of the tips and tricks and everything like that you're supposed to use to get wallpaper off. Certain stuff I couldn't get off, so I actually just had to sand a lot of it down. So again, it took me a lot longer than it was just like, well, we just painted everything. No, it was a lot that I did in this room to get it ready to come back to, you know, and stay in. And again too, I was in here before and then was in here for like a couple of years. Then again, I wanted to redo this room, and so then I moved all my stuff temporarily upstairs. But since I sort of went through that whole process of like temporarily moving out of a room to then move back in, I sort of, again, think I have a good understanding of like what needs to be done. I condensed everything. I put things in boxes. I made the whole moving process out of the room to redo it and then move it all back in sort of smooth. And so I kind of know, like I said, what needs to be done for everything to be completely taken out of a room. You know, it wasn't like I was just like, oh, I just moved everything from one side of the room, painted, and then moved everything back to the other side of the room and then painted the other side. Nothing was in this room except, I think maybe even my bed frame wasn't, because I moved that out to the garage because I repainted that too. So like literally there was nothing in this room at all when I redid it. So again, I know sort of the process of what needs to be done to get everything out of upstairs so that we can completely sort of gut that and redo that, and then move everything from, again, my parents' bedroom, my mom's office, all upstairs, and then everybody else in the appropriate bedrooms then following that. And I feel like that's going to be the biggest part, because the biggest room in the house that we probably have the most room to be able to put things in is temporarily going to have to be completely emptied. So again, like Jack's stuff and Matthew's stuff, thankfully, because he's not here, can be, you know, Matthew's stuff can just, you know, be put in the attic or whatever for the time being. But like Jack, he's gonna have to kind of be in my mom's office possibly while we have to move everything out. like his bed and clothes and stuff like that, like just as essentials, and hopefully we can get that done as quickly as possible and get the, again, carpet replaced and the walls replaced and then repainted, like I said, as quickly as possible, so that we can take all that stuff, you know, and get it all taken care of. But this was something that we sort of just, like, we sort of knew we were planning on doing this anyway, but this weekend my mom was finally like, okay, let's get this done, like, you know. And so I've sort of started the process with everybody as well. But the one big thing, the thing that I think needs to be finished first, because a lot of it I think is going to need to be like the, again, temporary moving of things. Like Matthew and Jack have a desk upstairs, they have like a bookshelves and stuff like that. Those things I think need to go into the attic temporarily, because those are things that we probably won't have room for to just put in a room for right now. Like again, if Jack's going to be in my mom's office until we can get that stuff moved, he's gonna have to be in there, but there's not gonna be enough room for all of his extra furniture. So that stuff I see needing to go up into the attic, or again, maybe in the garage or something like that. But the thing is that we again, so thankful we did this last fall and we got so much of the attic cleaned and reorganized, but there's still a small section of the attic that I want to finish before we try and move stuff into there, because I don't want it to be like, oh, there's still sort of a mess up here, and then let's throw some more stuff on top of that, and then we're gonna have, you know, again, other stuff on top of that, and then again, the whole process of, you know, all of it just being not finished. So I just want to finish that one section in the attic, and then once that's done, I feel like we can easily start moving things into there as temporary storage, to then move the things out so that we can finish upstairs and then get everything to its permanent home. This is most likely going to be a long process because we have so much that we have to move, so many different things that are moving. It's not like, oh, I'm just going into my parents' room and they're coming in here, you know, sort of thing. Or, you know, Jack's just going from upstairs to downstairs in my mom's office and we're moving that stuff upstairs. It's not. It's, we have to redo an entire room. Drywalling and replacing the carpeting and flooring and all that kind of stuff has to be finished upstairs. So because of that, again, it's going to be a lot longer of a process, but my goal would be to make sure that it is done by summer, because by that time Matthew's going to be back from school, and because of that, we want to, you know, not have him, you know, like if we have to put his bed in the attic temporarily, not because he's sleeping in there, but because he's not here, that would be like the best thing possible, because then we're not having to move as many people around to make sure that they at least have a bed to sleep on. He doesn't need to sleep in his bed right now, so if we have to, again, move his bed and mattress and all that kind of stuff into the attic, or temporarily into, again, a room or something like that, just for the time being, so that we can get it out of upstairs, you know, and again, finish the whole process upstairs, that would be the best thing, instead of, again, trying to have another body in the house that we have to try and work around. So while there's one less person here for the time being, I think that my goal would be to get it done by summer. And like I said too, my organization and all that kind of stuff, I think hopefully will be a big benefit, you know, in the process. And that's sort of, again, my mom has already said, like, you take the reins, you figure out what needs to be done. She's like, I can see the design of how she wants everything upstairs, you know, how she wants the furniture done, and, you know, cutesy Pinterest stuff and things like that. She's like, but I can't figure out how we're gonna get there. And I was like, I can see that though. Like, that's where, again, I feel like, you know, you work together so well as a family, because everybody has their own pieces that they can really do really well, and I feel like hopefully that's what I'm good at and can help with. That is the new big thing now that we are trying to work on. Like I said, last year it was the attic organizing, and that was, again, a huge process, because I think I told you guys, we lived here for 20 years. A lot of that stuff has been up there for 20 years and has been in boxes, not since we moved, but we just like put things up there and we're like, you know, again, this is my mom's china and stuff like that, and we don't really use it all that often, so we just put it in boxes in the attic and take it out barely, and it's, you know, like, still up there. There's just stuff too that my parents were like, and a lot of times too, when we were moving rooms, the same thing would happen, where my parents would be like, oh, we're gonna switch our bedroom from the master to upstairs. Like when my grandma moved in, it got crazy and stuff just got thrown in the attic, and again, 20 years later, we finally went through all that stuff. So that is why there's, like I said, I want to try and keep this process as smooth and as seamless as possible, and not do the same thing that we've done before in the past, because we just got it all taken care of and cleaned up in the attic. I don't want it to be, let's just take everything from one room and throw it in the attic and then not see it for another 20 years and then try and reorganize and do everything that we need to do. Like, I want to keep things again, in a hopefully organized manner. So like I said, I can see that whole process and how that works, but in anticipation for that, that's why I cleaned off my put all my clothes away, because I was like, that's Jack's first goal. His first goal is to he needs to clean up a lot of just the the things that need to be cleaned up. Right now his room is in a little bit of distress anyway. He just needs to clean up. I said that's the first thing. I can't do any organizing or putting things away in bins and, you know, boxes and stuff like that until you get your room clean. So that's his first goal. Mine is to finish the attic, as far as, like I said, that last section that needs to be organized. And that also too is not just me, like that's my parents and even a little bit of Jack can probably help, but his main thing is his bedroom needs to be cleaned and taken care of, and then I can start helping him with the organizing part of it. So anyways, that is, like I said, that's our news, guys, is there's going to be a whole lot of changes most likely coming in the house and a whole bunch of moving and all kinds of other things. So yeah, like I said, this should be an interesting process. It's not also too 100% sure that this is exactly happening, but it is stuff that we do know needs to happen. Obviously, again, too, some of the drywall we realize needs to be replaced upstairs. The carpeting needs to be replaced. So if we're doing that, we're planning on moving people's rooms anyway, we might as well just get to all that. So like I said, that's what's up, guys. That is sort of the new process that we've undertaken, and like I said, I actually feel like it inspires me too, because I do like that. I like the organizing and that kind of stuff. So like, you know, when I have something that I know like is also too, I don't want to say like on my shoulders, but you know, people are relying on me to help with, you know, like I feel very inspired to make sure that I do a good job and get that stuff done, and like I said, make it hopefully a seamless process for everybody. Because again too, some of the stuff like, you know, again, putting in new lights and electrical and all that kind of stuff, that's my dad's business. I can help with that, but that's his. Like, you know, he can take that and take care of that, but again, the organizing and moving and, you know, that kind of thing is more on me to do. And so that's why I'm like, I feel like, you know, empowered to get this kind of stuff done. So like I said, it'll be fun, but it'll be probably a crazy couple months. And on top of that too, with the holidays, like that's gonna be even more a little crazy, because we got, you know, Thanksgiving and Christmas coming up and everything like that. That's the one section in the attic that needs to be taken care of, is all of our decorations. That's sort of the last spots in the attic that I need to have organized, is actually all of our decoration stuff. So it might actually work out better, since the holidays are so close, that we can actually just sort of get that stuff, you know, processed through to where it actually needs to go for the holidays and everything like that, in addition to organizing it. Because right now it's sort of loose, some things are not in proper boxes and all this kind of stuff. So anyways, I will see you guys all in tomorrow's vlog. If you guys did enjoy today's, make sure you guys give a big old thumbs up. If you guys are new, we'd love it if you'd subscribe, and I'll see all of your sunshiny faces tomorrow. So bye, guys.